All right, everyone, this is my reveal. Oh, sorry. Put that again. It's going to be put on YouTube, so. Everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Again, we're going to be doing another review video. Today's review video is going to be on Frostadamus' Wrath of the Lich King Classic Prep, and he's suggesting that people need to stop stressing about it. Everybody's flipping out. They're still raiding. They're getting all the gear. They're farming gold and all that sort of stuff. And I guess Frostadamus is saying to stop stressing about it. I haven't watched the video yet, but I'd like to see what he has to say because I myself am stressing about it a little bit. I still need to farm up a bunch more gold and get at least one more, or this character leveled up. And I've still got 17 levels to go. So I will be pausing the video. During the video a little bit, I'll be answering questions in chat and making comments about the video myself as well. So 1 second. Yeah, in a tank top. 1 second.
Peak. What are the best professions? How much gold should I bring into Wrath of the Lich King?
What are the best professions? Okay, number one is engineering. You're all taking engineering. Just admit it now. So that's you've only got one profession choice in Wrath of the Lich King because one of the two is definitely going to be engineering.
Fresh or not? These are some of the questions that pop more often on my stream lately, and especially now with the Wrath of the Lich King getting so close to an actual release. Today, this sweaty nerd is going to try to answer some of the questions, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So one of the first questions that
he's got a Shure mic
quite often.
Look at this baller. He's got a Shure mic. Look at this. Frosty's doing well.
Without further ado, let's get right into it. So one of the first questions that pops quite often is how much gold should I bring into Wrath of the Lich King? And a lot of people seem to have a specific number. It's either 10k, either 30k, either 100k, or a specific gold cap.
100k, right, chat?
The truth is, it doesn't really matter. Only during the last year or so, during the TBC era, that people started caring so much about gold in this game because they do a lot of gold AKPs, they boost and so on. Gold doesn't really have a lot of value at a core foundational level in Wrath of the Lich King. Basically, if you come into Wrath of the Lich King, you can literally come with 0 gold and still have almost the same things as anyone else. Not assuming that you have a normal guild that raids consistently, or that you do soft reserve runs and not gold DKPs. The most important things that you would need, probably in terms of gold, would be to buy
I don't know if he's seen the prices of consumes, but you definitely need gold.
Spec, as it will save money on the long run, especially if you PvP a lot or if you have 2 specific specs. The dual spec is a one-time purchase, is going to cost you
175 gold a round. You're
rich,
rich,
and then you'll be done with it for that specific character. Another thing that you might want to purchase would be, like, of course, epic mount and probably cold weather flying. Those things are really important. Investing some money into profession, either to make gold back or to create a best.
So far, he's spent about 10,000 gold with like the epic flying, cold weather flying, and the dual specialization. So you don't need to bring much money into Wrath, but you need 10,000 gold very quickly.
Slot items like with tailoring or with engineering, that can be another gold sink, because that's related with the prices on the market. Now this gold, it's not hard to make. You can even make it as you level. As you level, you're gonna get like a lot of items. Or if you don't make it as you level, you're gonna do quests at level 80, and quests at level 80 is going to reward you with a lot of money. Apparently, if you level in dungeons from 70 to 80 and you do the quest at level 80, you can make about 5,000 to 7,000 gold only from questing at level 70. Of course, probably you're not going to do that. Materials, as soon as you reach level 70, such as primals, such as minerals and herbs, are going to be really inflated, really expensive, especially on the old servers, as people have a lot of rock gold onto them. So my answer to this question is, it's not really important. Of course, you'll hear other YouTubers and other streamers telling you that you need a specific $1 ring, which is 7,000 gold, and you need a mammoth, which is 20,000 gold, and you don't need these things to enjoy the game. It's simply, stop stressing about it.
I need a woolly mammoth,
I myself have 2 characters, one on NA with 20,000 gold. On EU, I have 25,000 gold on other characters without doing any gold DKPs. And I choose to make a fresh character on a fresh server, Gehennas, to enjoy the game more. And probably I'm gonna roll on the fresh as well. So another question that pops quite often is, should I go fresh or should I stay on my old characters? And this is not quite simple to answer, but basically it goes down to a couple of points. The first...
Fresh, people keep asking me if I'm going to play Fresh. I would love to play Fresh if they got rid of bots. But the problem is they're not. So, 1 month after Fresh launches, bots are going to already have infested the entire server. And it's not, the economy is going to be just as screwed up as every other server. Otherwise, I would be totally interested in maybe playing Fresh. But because they don't do anything about the bot problem, it's, what's the point?
First point is, do you really want to abandon your characters that you invested so much time into it? Probably some of you have like hundreds.
I think isn't there like a faster flying or something like that? Cheesy, I'm not positive. I think you can I'm not sure. Or do they just increase the flying speed normally? I'm not positive, to be honest.
Hundreds of days on them. You have a lot of achievement that you might not be able to do them, feats of strength and so on. You might have a lot of gold, and most importantly, you might have a community to play with, which is very important, because if you don't have a community to play on your normal server right now, if you don't have like a loyal guild or stuff like that, might test your luck at the Fresh server, But if you already have an established community, don't quit. You know how hard it is to build like a good guild or to have a new...
Boy, do I ever, Frosty.
Do I ever. Like a lot of people don't just do whatever the guild does. Like if the guild chooses one day to reroll on a new server, people would follow, because that's how hard it is to find a good community. I myself, for example, I had a good community on the NA servers, and since I stopped playing there because of the raiding times, it's been hard for me to find a new one on EU. So that's why for me it's really easy to make a decision into going Fresh. I wouldn't go. I would play probably, if I would be able to transfer my account from NA to EU, I would play that account, because my mage there has 120 days played and I have multiple characters such as Paladin, Rogues, and a variety of other classes. But I guess it's quite simple, and I've seen a lot of polls lately regarding if you want to join Fresh or not. And about from thousands and thousands of votes, only like 20% of the people would choose to go to a Fresh server. And from those 20%, I think half of them will not even reach max level. So the safe bet would be a quite populated old server. Moving on, I've seen people having the fear of missing out, and they're trying too much to follow the metas instead of stepping down a bit, taking a deep breath and looking around. Like I've seen a lot of people that, and I can feel that too. Blizzard announced like a couple of weeks ago that there's going to be a 50% experience buff, and there's going to be a Fresh server as well. And now people are quite confused. Should I start leveling my character now because I'm going to have a 50% buff? It kind of cuts down from the incentive to level a new character when you know that soon a 50% XP buff is going to come. I can resonate with that.
There's lots of people, since I've started leveling this mage, they're like, why don't you wait till the 50% XP buff? And I'm like, well, why not just get it done now? Like there's so much that I need. I'm freaking out. He says stop stressing about it. I'm freaking out because I've got tons of stuff I still need to do before Wrath hits. So there's lots of people that are waiting till the XP buff, but I also need it for content on stream.
But I just recently got to level 69 on a Fresh character on Gehennas, and today I'm going to probably get it to 70, as I'm going to go live as soon as I finish this clip here, and probably we're gonna ding to 70. It's going to go and we're gonna level a new one. Now my problem with this is stop waiting for things to happen, and I want to give an example from the Lost Ark game that I used to play. Basically, whenever I reached
here's another streamer that stopped playing Lost Ark.
100 gear score with my character, I decided to level my alts to 1415 as well, because why not? They were making more money with higher gear score because you are able to do higher levels of Guardian raids and Chaos dungeons. A lot of people stopped and parked their characters at 1370 because they were waiting for a honing, an enchanting buff that would increase the success rate of their items by 10% or something like that. That was supposed to come with Vicus, which recently came. Guess what? It didn't come. So people ended up storing thousands and thousands of materials in their bank, so much blocked energy and so much potential, thousands of leap stones and enhancing materials just to wait for that buff so they can level their characters. I myself just did it without thinking. I leveled my alts to 14, 15, and ever since then, for a month and a half, I was benefiting from the higher gear score and so on. What I'm trying to say is that if you're waiting for things to come to you, probably it's not gonna be good. How does this apply to the Joyous Adventure buff? Well, if you start leveling a character right now, probably by the time the Joyous Adventure buff will come, you will already have level 50 or something. Then it's gonna be a
53.
shorter distance from 50 to 80 than it is from level 1 to 80 with a 50% buff. Stop fearing all those things. Just play, have fun, enjoy the game, and everything is gonna be just nice. Now, with that being said, I think this is all I have for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you'll have a beautiful, joyous adventure, a beautiful beta experience if you already got a key. I myself haven't got one. And I hope you'll have a beautiful pre-patch, either if you play on Fresh or on the old servers. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Frostadamus, your host. Until next time, stay frosty. Bye-bye.
Okay, so I got a little confused in the video, to be honest, because he started telling people not to stress about it. But then in the end, he was like, just start now. Just get your stuff going now. Anyways, I like Frosty. He's a really, really nice guy. I love watching his streams and stuff too. If you guys haven't watched Frosty before, I'll leave the link in my in the description of my video. My thoughts on whether or not you should be stressing about Wrath. I guess that depends on where you're at right now. But to say it's okay for you to go into the game with 0 gold, I guess if you're a new player that hasn't been playing TBC and that sort of stuff, if you've got no gold, then it is what it is. You know, you'll get a little bit of gold as you're leveling up and stuff like that. If you've been playing TBC all TBC, I would think, for me, a bare minimum for gold that you are going to want to have, if you're just planning on focusing on one character, I would suggest, Jesus, what would I suggest? What would you guys suggest for minimum amount of gold to play Path? I want to say 10,000. And I've seen a lot of people say 25,000 gold, but I think bare minimum, just so you can get your cold weather flying, and keep in mind you'll get some gold as you're leveling up as well. But I think if you're starting now, there's no reason why you can't get 10,000 gold. If you're not leveling up another character or what have you, I would probably want to have minimum 10,000 gold on your main character that you're going to be starting to raid with. Because keep in mind, you're going to want to buy cold weather flying, full specialization. I mean, if you want to even have a dream of having the woolly mammoth, you're going to need more than you're going to need like 20,000 just for that. You can just buy repair bots, though, and it basically does the same thing. But I don't know that repair bots are going to be as profitable as they are now. But it is an option instead of buying a woolly mammoth. But you're definitely going to want the cold weather flying, the dual specialization, and you're also going to want to be able to buy consumes and stuff like that. So if you're just going in with one character to start, I would say that minimum you want 10. You could maybe get by with 5 if you're questing the whole way up and collecting gold and doing all that sort of stuff. And then having enough to get yourself a proper foundation for raiding at level 80. But even then, you're just not going to have enough to buy your enchants and all that sort of stuff. I'm gonna have to stick with my original of, if you don't, you need 10,000 gold, I think, minimum. And people in my chat are saying even more than that. So if you don't have 10,000 gold, I wouldn't say don't worry about it, but you should be worrying about it a little bit, because you're going to be way behind other people that are going to be completely prepared by the time they get to level 80. You're going to have your professions that you need to level as well. That's going to toss you a ton of gold. Your enchants, your consumes, your jewels to be crafted. You're gonna have to buy those as well. Pay for those to be crafted. Like, there's a lot of expenses that you're going to have before you even step foot into the dungeon. So if you haven't started already, I would suggest get started on farming some gold. If you're planning on leveling a new character, I would definitely take Frosty's advice and get started right now. Because if you haven't started yet, when the 50% XP buff comes in, if you wait till then and then you get that character to max level and you still have to farm gold as well, you might be running out of time at that point. So I would get to work. If you're not playing TBC right now, I would get your account activated and get to work on getting some of the stuff done now. I would maybe start to stress a little bit about it. I myself now have about 25,000 gold. And even with me, I'm leveling my character up now. We hit 53 tonight. I'm probably going to keep leveling all the way to 70, and then immediately I'm turning around and I'm going to start farming gold basically until the end of Wrath. I might do Karazhan's or something like that in order to get this mage a little bit of gear so that I can go into Wrath kind of running and actually have a little bit of decent gear. But there's probably not much opportunity that I'm going to have to run Sunwell or something like that. I'll have to talk to my guild about it. But for sure, I'm going to be making sure that I get a little bit more gold. And like I said, I've already got 25,000 gold or something like that. So anyways, good video by Frosty. I hope that you enjoyed my review of the video. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you gave me a like and a subscribe. And if you want to watch me stream live, I stream on Twitch 6 days a week at 9 p.m. Eastern from Tuesdays till Sunday. And yeah, other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.